Hi YouTube, Facebook. Good to see you. Now listen, this vlog is going to be extremely controversial, if you will. I am fed up with racism of all flavors. I have seen it through every culture just about that I've come across in my lifetime. And frankly, it doesn't benefit any of us. There's not a person on this planet that benefits from racism. Okay, seriously. Now, it may make that person feel superior for a moment. Maybe they had a bad day and they saw somebody of a different color and they chose at that particular moment to just let them have it because they're tired of dealing with the opposite of themselves. I don't know. I don't know what the rationale is. All I know is I'm fed up with it. And I hope that other people out there are fed up with it too. It's getting ridiculous, man. We're all part of the human race, man. Get over yourselves. Start getting to know people, and then, if you can't get along with them because of a personality issue, not flaw, but issue, fine, move on. Freak, man, you don't need them, they don't need you. But don't sit here and do this racist bull. I go to this Publix close to my house, and I have to deal with these people that just they snub their nose at me because I'm, according to them, pigmentally challenged, and I'm really over it. I mean, I don't care which culture you're from, man. If your daily deal is to be a racist, knock it off, man. It's so freaking counterproductive. There's a big difference between constructive criticism that isn't based obviously on somebody's skin color. It's based on something that you see that is a flaw in that person that you want to help them to improve themselves. Okay, fine. But just to judge somebody, man, I've heard so many people over here, and see, I'm trying not to say which particular race is doing it, because I want to be as neutral in this as I can, but at the same time, call it out. Stop saying white people this, white people that. The very things that Martin Luther King talked about was equality for all races, man. Colorblindness, seeing the content of that person. Why can't we all focus on that? Yes, there's racism going on. There are people that are racist, and that's exactly what I'm talking about in this vlog. I am tired of it. I deserve to be, talked to humanely by everyone, and so do you. So does everyone on this planet. All this attitude and posturing and pushing our chest out and acting like we are just, getting ready to commence an act of physical violence with each other is ridiculous. All this counterproductive bull, man. You know? And most of y'all won't even watch this whole video because y'all so, it's, a lot of people are so freaking blind and oblivious to what's really going on. You know? I thought my generation would be past a lot of these issues. Unfortunately, it seems to be very prevalent amongst all. And I'm going to emphasize that because I'm really tired of it just being a white only issue because that's just not the case. It is everyone that's in, and I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It is every culture has racist within their own culture. Okay, it's there. And until people start dealing with their own racial issues and start getting comfortable with the idea of trying to find common ground, there will not be any peace on this issue. Because nobody wants it bad enough. Nobody wants to sit there and say, okay, all right, yes, some atrocities happened. Things that shouldn't have gone down went down, and they were wrong. But come on, man. If you want to be talked to as a human being, talk to other people as human beings. Stop judging every person on their skin color, and actually take the time to get to know them. Some people are more educated. I mean, heck, man, I've been around people that, because they have PhDs, they are just so far up in the clouds, educationally speaking, than I am. Of course, they're going to seem like they're aloof. I don't even think they do it on purpose. They're just more educated. Okay, I can accept that. I've known some really down to earth doctors. Do I judge all doctors based on the aloof doctors? No, I don't. You know, I figure they have a job to do. Maybe they're really good at it. You know, they worked really hard to get where they're at. That's them. That's their path in this life. Look, I choose to treat people how I want to be treated. Why can't everyone else just do that? Do you? If you, I have a hard time believing that people want to be treated in a negative light like that. Okay, I really do. Maybe there are people out there that do that, and I just happen to come along at the the opportune time where they want to try to take out that racism that was shown to them onto me. I have no idea. But how about you giving me 2 minutes? Get to know me, know who I am. And I'm telling you, most of the folks here in Snellville is the ones that I come across. Snellville, Georgia. Okay, the Walmart over here off of Centerville Highway, and the Publix. I don't know what their issue is with white people. Maybe there's a bunch of people that came in there and just were straight up jerks with them. I have no idea. But if I'm coming into your establishment to spend money, stop judging me based on the color of my skin, please. You wouldn't want it done to you. Don't freaking do it to me, and don't do it to anyone else. All these racial issues, man. When I was younger, I was blinded to all these issues. Because I don't see people that way. I see you as a person. You know. Now there may be differences in our personalities that cause us not to get along, but even in those situations, I believe we can still find some kind of common ground. If it means where we have to work together or whatever. I mean, think about it in the workplace. I'm pretty sure there's personalities you don't particularly care for, but because you're in the workplace, you're going to have to deal with those personalities. We all come across it every day in our lives. Why don't we all just take a deep breath and try to get along and deal with each other in a more productive manner? I mean, enough is enough, man. I'm fed up. You just don't know how fed up I really am with this issue. And no, I'm not fed up where I'm like, oh, I'll just sweep it under the rug. No, let's deal with it, but let's deal with it honestly, man, so people can get these hurt feelings out and try to do something that is positive. I mean, this constantly, bickering over everything is just not getting us anywhere. You know, everybody's hypersensitive about everything, and you may even say right now, based on this vlog, I'm being hypersensitive. Well, so be it. You know, but at least I'm calling it out. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because everybody wants this whole fantasy. Every culture needs to deal with this issue. Every culture. Stop blaming just white people. Okay, it's not just white people. It isn't. Now, historically speaking, maybe that ball got rolling, by the European culture. So be it, man. But as the old saying goes, two wrongs don't make a right. And somewhere along the way, we've all got to come up with some kind of equitable solution that benefits everyone, so that everyone feels like they're being treated fairly. But this idea of seeing a white person over here in Snellville, especially, and this is what I have to refer to, and saying, "Oh, white people always causing trouble." I said something to my daughter. We were at a school function, I think it was last year, and I said, "Well, obviously that's not the way they're going to deal with it." And this African American girl turns around, looks at me, and says, "Obviously." Now, on the one hand, I can take it with a grain of salt and say, okay, I don't know if that person is just playing or if they're just straight up racist. I don't know. Now, I know what racism means. It means that you feel that your race is superior to any other. Okay? I'm not racist. I don't think I'm superior to no one. I think that I'm good at some things, maybe that somebody else might not be good at, but that doesn't make me racist. It just means that I feel like I'm good at those things. People don't get the time. They don't even take the time to get to know each other. I mean, we live in this information super age where everything has to be done via the internet. People don't get out and meet each other and talk. And if they do, it's so limited, and the conversations are so, I don't know, dull, if you will, that nobody really engages one another, man. I live in a neighborhood. I remember growing up thinking, oh man, one day I'll grow up and I'll have a family and I'll live in a neighborhood and I'll have all kinds of block parties and friends and things like that. I mean, we talk to our neighbors, don't get me wrong, but none of that goes on. It's just not, it's not what TV land painted it out to be. Trust me on that. And I just wonder why we can't just get past our freaking differences, man. You know? Don't blame me for doing this, because I actually had an African American man tell me one time, oh, well, see, white people like you are the reason racism still exists. No, people like me are the ones who say it shouldn't exist. Shouldn't you welcome me with open arms? Because I'm telling you, it's wrong. I don't care which culture is doing it. Straight up. No matter which culture is doing it, it is wrong. Okay? And another thing, too, stop telling all people that if they tell you about their cultural backgrounds, let's be honest, man. There's a lot of mixtures in the cultures. Okay? At one point or another, I'm pretty sure if we all did our DNA test, we'd find all kinds of different cultural backgrounds that we have. And it's okay to still feel pride in your culture. I don't have a problem with that if that's your thing. I don't particularly waste a whole lot of energy on it. But I remember telling somebody, I said, my mom, I'm sorry, my great grandmother, sorry, no, wait, I'll get it right in a minute. My grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee. Why white people always got a claim to be Native American? I'm sorry. Does it offend you that I have a heritage other than European? I mean, enough is enough, man. Some of this stuff is common sense, man. When you go up to someone and you purposely set out to antagonize them because you don't like them based on the color of their skin, I'm sorry, you're bigoted. Okay? You are a bigot. And I don't like bigots. I just don't. I'm not one, and I certainly don't have time for any of the bigotry. Get over your issues. Matter of fact, go somewhere, go to a therapist, a counselor, and deal with it. Talk about it. Discover the reason why you have these bigoted views. Okay? And if you're a supremacist who thinks that your race is superior to any other, get over it. You're not superior. Matter of fact, by you saying stuff like that, you've proven that you're actually inferior and infantile in your approach to human beings. I mean, enough is enough, man. I am so fed up with the way people do things. Oh, we're just gonna act like we're not being racist. We're just pointing out flaws. No, you're not. You're being bigoted and you know it. It kills me how people will not acknowledge their own bigotry. Acknowledge it, embrace it. That's what you're doing, right? White people this, Asian people that, and we're all so worried about being politically correct because none of us want to be called, don't call me a racist, don't call me bigoted. Come on, man. Listen, you tell me what to call you. If your name is Bob, Jim, whatever your name is, man. I mean, that's what I'll call you. If you don't want to be identified based on your culture, fine. I'm cool with that too. I'm a very flexible person. But man, some people are just so freaking hypersensitive. It's not even funny. And yeah, today I'm one of them. Yes, because after 43 years on this planet, I am fed up. I mean, I saw it when I was in school. I saw it when I was as a young adult. It's enough. And the sad thing is, nobody ever wants to acknowledge it in a way that is productive. It just ends up being a big old squabble, and everybody calling each other out as to why they feel that they're justified in their bigoted views. I don't get it. I never will. And if you want to say that I'm the reason for racism, if that makes you feel better, by all means, man, shout it to the highest mountaintop. But it's not going to make it true. I am actually on the side of equality. I'm on the side of everyone being treated fairly. Try being poor, okay? If you're poor, you're discriminated against as well. You're considered the scourge of society. Look that up through history, why don't you? If you're not considered productive, well, you're just a waste of a human being. And I've talked about this before. Why can't people actually try to help people out and give them a hand up? No, they don't want to do that. They'd rather make fun of the person because that's the American way. Let's belittle that person more. Matter of fact, I've heard so many times at some of these schools and on these bully chats that I have to listen to sometimes how that person ought to go kill themselves. Who are you to tell that person they should go kill themselves? Who made you their judge, jury, and executioner? You know, I try to be positive in all my messages. I try to be uplifting. No, I'm not the most entertaining person on the planet. No, I'm certainly not the most handsome. I get it. But at least I'm a voice of reason. Does that count for something in this world anymore? Are we so freaking like obsessed with chaos and trouble that we can't hear reason anymore? Stop making fun of people, man. I don't give a damn which culture you're from. Stop it. Who am I to tell you that? I'm a human being who is fed up with being discriminated against himself. I've had enough. And I have a voice just like you do. I mean, the old adage is if you have nothing nice to say, shut up. Okay? Shut up. Nobody wants to hear this negative crap. You got an issue? Probably your issue isn't really with other cultures, it's with yourself. Okay? Straight up. Stop blaming everybody else for your issues and start taking some ownership of those issues. Because honestly, man, nothing is ever going to change until we, as a human collective, seeks to change it. And I don't mean guilting people into stuff either, man. One, stop being a bigot. Two, stop being a bully. And I don't care which culture you're from. It's despicable and it's unnecessary. Three, stop judging people based on your own standard as if them not living up to your standard somehow makes them less than you are. And four, speaking as a poor person, stop judging me. You know, poor people can probably teach you something too. You know? Yeah, I can hear the sarcasm now. Oh, what, how to be poor? Well, stay in your ignorance. Okay? You don't know that person's situation. You don't know where they've been. You don't know what they're going through, so shut up. I've had enough of it. And I'm sick and tired of every time I try to be politically correct and, oh, well, let me not say this because if I rock the boat, well, I'm puncturing the hell out of the boat because I'm tired of it. And so should you be, man. If you're my generation, man, rise up against this bigotry. You know, start embracing everybody as brothers and sisters, as part of a collective human race. If you're smarter than somebody else, teach them. That's why you're smarter than them, maybe. I don't know. If they're unteachable, move on. But at least you tried to do something damn positive instead of bashing them for not living up to your freaking standards. I mean, enough is enough. Damn, man. I see it all the time. Hell, if the races aren't they discriminating against each other, they discriminate against a poor person. It doesn't matter what color you are. Be poor. You think you've got it bad? Be poor. Be living underneath a bridge somewhere, smelling to high heaven because you can't get a shower anywhere, and you certainly better not be sleeping on any park benches. And we better clean that up because the business folk down in Atlanta, they won't like that too much because that's going to ruin their business. And that person should have made better decisions. You don't think that person doesn't know that seriously? You think they're sitting there going, hey, man, I made some pretty good decisions. This park bench is really comfortable. This weather I'm sleeping in, this rain that's pouring down on my head, it's wonderful. I'm pretty sure that's what they're saying, don't you? Come on, man. Of all the ignorance. You know? Anyway, the point is, I'm sick of it. You should be too. If you're a racist, get over yourself. If you're bigoted, learn how to get past your pettiness. Okay? And stop blaming every white person that walks around as if we all have like this agenda against every other race. Why don't you give an individual a chance and get to know them? Stop judging the content of, I mean, the color of their skin, and actually look at the content of the person. I'm not saying everybody's going to always get along, but man, I mean, race should never ever enter into the equation. I don't care which culture it is. I like learning about different cultures, to be quite honest with you. I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating to listen to what other people believe and think. Maybe you ought to all get to be the same way. Learn something from the other cultures. Some of y'all are going to take this the right way. Some of you are going to take it the wrong way. Either way, that's on you. All I'm telling you is I'm fed up. I really am. I truly am. And I'm sick of it, man. Of course, discrimination comes in all forms, doesn't it? I mean, if you're not considered beautiful, you're discriminated against. If you're not considered handsome, you're discriminated against. If you don't articulate just the right way, you're discriminated against. So there's a whole lot of issues out there, aside from race, that we all need to start getting past, man. We really do. And sometimes, a lot of these youth that you see that are screwing up, a lot of times they just needed some guidance. But nobody wants to guide them. They just want to complain about them. Anyway, I've rambled on quite a bit. That's my take on it. If you have any comments, you know where to leave them. And by all means, feel free. Blast me, agree with me, give your side of it. That's on you. I welcome any and all people to talk to me. I'm certainly not going to shy away from anyone's opinion. This has been Guy in the Garage. Peace.